One of my subscribers, Christian, was able to defeat a 2000 rated chessbot as a 1050 rated player, using the strategy that I will teach you in this video. So I am taking a new account on chess.com all the way from 1000 rating to 2000 rating, using just one simple strategy. If you don't know what that strategy is, I will demonstrate it here during our game. So we are playing with the black pieces. The strategy works for every color and every opening, pretty much. They are playing pawn to e4. I will play the French defense, which is a fine opening. We are going to play it for now. All right. And we get the advanced French. My strategy is a middle game strategy. So, of course, first we have to get through the opening. For the opening, I always recommend that you don't obsess over opening theory and instead that you just play normal moves. Put the pawn in the center, develop some pieces. Very logical, very normal chess. Pawn to a4, I actually don't know this exact variation, so we are already out of book. But as I said, opening theory is not super important. A bit dubious, but maybe they want to attack my queen once the queen gets to b6. That could be the case, but at the same time, the queen on b6 actually cannot be attacked. So I'm pretty, yeah, I think this is probably just a strange move. Queen b6, an early queen move, but in the French defense, this is the right plan. And then soon we will be in the middle game, and then I can, of course, show you my strategy. So what I'm trying to do for the opening is always just, as I said, optimizing pieces. Basically just keep optimizing pieces, which means developing and improving their position. These two still need to develop. I will have to see where I'm going to go. I'm doing a quick calculation here because they actually blocked in their own queen defending. So if I take, they take with the knight, I take with my knight, and that's basically a free pawn. And the biggest part of this strategy is that we just want to play very normal, solid moves, as I am doing here. And eventually your opponents will always give away free material. And if they don't, they probably are going to make some strategical or positional mistake. That is the biggest part of this strategy. We just want to play normal chess, normal moves, and our opponent is actually going to make all the mistakes for us. So I'm thinking what the exact best variation is here. I can take this knight. I could also take this pawn. But here you can see my opponent is all... I was thinking because there are some traps where they can try to win your queen. But we already blocked against that by putting the bishop here. So yeah, my opponent is already giving me free material. And that is just the plan. Our opponents will always crumble as long as we play the most normal and logical moves. They will eventually make a mistake. Yeah, so we are fine. I still want to develop those pieces. This pawn here is now protected by the queen. So that's a check. Let's see what they do. Of course, okay, they move the king. All right. I'm always checking for my opponent what they can do as well. For example, they can put the bishop here, attack my queen, but they will be losing the pawn. Yeah, so I think we just need to develop another piece. Yeah, but that's again giving away a pawn. And this might also be weak. So, as you can see, 1000 rating, we don't have to do much. The strategy is very simple. One thing is we want to play the most solid opening, put all the pieces in the center. The second thing is that they will give away free material. We have to see it, grab it, and then just turn this into a winning endgame, basically. I'm quickly checking if everything is safe so that I don't play any stupid moves. But I do think everything is safe and I can just castle. And as soon as you are up material, we just want to trade every piece. Not the pawns, but we want to trade every piece because it's going to be more clear that we are up material. So he is, of course, trying to do some type of trick here. To win back material, but I do think I have a very easy way to trade. If I just push this, he takes, we trade the queens. The only disadvantage is we are losing a pawn, so there has to be a better way to go about this. Maybe developing the knight first. I do have to watch out, of course, the knight was also defending here. Or maybe I just have to develop one of my rooks, because my main rule is basically piece optimization, but I think I'm gonna go with this for the piece optimization. But you always have to be careful when you have a queen, bishop, queen lined up. They can always just suddenly move the bishop, and then your queen is under attack. So that's always a little bit dangerous. The thing that I'm basically not afraid of here is that I know I can always trade queens if I have to. Okay, so he is trying to play for, I'm not really sure, basically trying to play for some type of checkmate. He has the two bishops here, so we will have to do a little bit of defense. Or I just grab this free pawn, because currently we are not really in any trouble. Even if he sacrifices, we are still fine. But of course, if we take the free pawn and he plays this, well, we could actually give a check and pick up the bishop. So I think we are still fine. And our queen is also backwards protecting this. As long as your opponent has a queen, you always have to be very careful. The moment they don't have a queen anymore, it's, yeah, Pac-Man, as one of my subscribers said. You can just, oh yeah, I was thinking this was going to be a check, but of course the king has already moved. I miscalculated. I thought the king was still in the starting position. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so now we have to improvise a little bit. But I think the same plan still works, right? We just go here and we attack the bishop. But I thought the king was still here. I'm so confused that this king is on f1. But that shows you a calculation, patience, very important skills that I still need to improve upon as well. No traps, no tricks, nothing spectacular. This looks like a fine move, but we are also losing this. He might also be thinking about attacking me with the rook. I think I'm gonna save the pawn first. Okay. And now we try to trade the queens. And if we can trade the queens, that's an easy win. I do have to speed up a little bit. I'm always talking so much that the clock is running low. That's just an extra trade, so I will always do this. Yep. That's a check. And that's a free pawn. And it's not just a free pawn. We are also threatening to pin his queen to the king. So you can see it's actually not that difficult. They are just giving away a bunch of free material. And they didn't see this trick. So now they are also losing the queen. If you are 1050, 1100 and you want to improve honestly, stop watching opening videos and just start solving chess puzzles every day. I know it sounds a little bit boring or a little bit harsh, but it is the truth. I remember my first rating, I think, was 1200. And all I did was just solve chess puzzles every day. Chess puzzles, always chess puzzles. Very boring, but I solved 5,000 puzzles in a month. A little bit more even. And yeah, once you start doing something like that, your rating will go up with 300 to 400 points. I think my first rating was, as I said, if I remember correctly, 1100, 1200 on Twitch.com. It's been a very long time. I actually just realized that I'm actually kind of dropping pawns here while I'm telling you this story. What do we do here? We just basically push forever. But yeah, I remember, I think my first rating was 1150, 1200, something like that, when I was brand new to chess. And then I solved puzzles, a bunch of puzzles, and I think my next online rating was 1500 or 1600. Nothing to worry about, we basically have to push. And that's a free rook as well. That was a small trap that I was setting up, giving away the pawn for a rook. And this is one of those special moments. We give away the queen. Which is of course not the best move in the position, but this is something I love doing. As soon as you are winning, even if you do trades that are bad for you, it doesn't matter anymore. Because in 3 moves we are going to have a new queen, and if they want to stop it, they have to give us an extra bishop. And with just a bishop, it really doesn't matter whatever they are trying to do here. Yeah, it's never going to work. Okay, the pawns are a little bit scattered, but it doesn't matter. We get a new queen. Now it's just 2 rooks versus a king, and this should be a very easy Very easy endgame. How do you do this? Of course, we want to combine both rooks. If we can, we do have to watch out for stalemate. So every move I have to calculate that he still has something. We can also just make more queens. Yep, he still has some squares. And we even have a checkmate and 2. Yep, that's checkmate. We don't need the extra queen. All right, I think that was a near perfect game and a pretty good example of how to use this strategy. All right, time for another game. Let's see if we can get the white pieces maybe. Yes, we get the white pieces. With white, I usually love playing d4. You can play pawn to e4, of course, it's a fine opening. But in general, pawn to e4 will always be a little bit more of a tactical opening, while pawn to d4 will always be a little bit more of a strategic opening. And we are basically trying to do the exact same thing. I honestly don't really know what my opponent is playing. I don't even know what I am playing at this point. But it's always the same principle. They give away a free piece. This is a 1080 rated player. They just gave me a free piece. So yeah, not super complex. We do have to watch out here what's going on. They are attacking this and they are attacking our knight. I was thinking first I could do this move, but I lose the knight. If I go back with the knight, we lose the pawn. So it's all a little bit complex. One idea I had was maybe we can just block with the knight. Okay, they can attack it, but we can always counterattack the queen. But the queen then goes back here, so it's not super clear. One thing we can also do is just be super aggressive and go for a counterattack. If they move the king, that's a checkmate. If they move the king here, it's not a checkmate, but it doesn't look too good. So probably they will play this. We can then take. And if they take, we take with a check. The king has to move. But this is going to be a very hectic game, and I usually don't like hectic games. I'll have to calculate a little bit. I don't want to give back the knight, that's one thing. We can also just move back, have them take, and then play the rook over. Or go back, have them take. Yeah, the rook over. I think that's going to be the move. I'm going to check with the engine quickly. I think there might have also been the counterattack variation, and then sacrificing, checking, picking up free material. This is, by the way, a very common structure you can set up. It's not my favorite way of playing chess, because I like solid positions, solid moves. This is not so solid, but it's fine. So this entire counter check doesn't work because we would lose the knight. I can play this. And then I'm basically looking if there's something here. So he is probably giving me just the counter attack for free. It depends a little bit where he goes with the queen. If he stays, for example, here, I don't have a counterattack. But it's still fine. We can just basically develop 2 pieces. We can even castle queenside. These are openings I really don't like. I like to have all my pawns solid. I like to have everything safe. But of course, your opponents can always make life difficult if they want. So a quick check, do we have this counterattack? So my idea is just to give this check and grab this. But he also has this check and he can grab this. Maybe I have to play f3 first to kick away his queen. Because of course, whenever you are attacking, you don't want to miss some opportunity for your opponent. This is very awkward piece placement, but I think it's fine. And now his queen is just offside. We can even continue harassing him with the knight. Or we can go for this check, because this pawn is actually not a problem if he takes it. So this check, he goes here. I would say we take this, we attack the rook. If he takes this, I take the rook with check. We cannot move the rook either. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually just gonna develop a piece for now. I'm gonna have to check with the engine. I think we might have had like 3 opportunities already to play this move. But if I'm up material, I will rather pick the safest variation, and that is the one where we just get the king safe. Yeah. But now this is an entirely free piece. But again, our rook will probably be in trouble and we are gonna get checked. If I go this, he blocks, I take a free bishop. Oops, my queen is here. He then takes this. My rook is under attack. But I can then probably move back with the knight. Protect my rook, protect this square, and my queen is blocking. So this, 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 and then one of the knight goes back. Yeah, I think that looks fine. I think that's just an extra piece. These positions, of course, are super complicated. This is really where calculation and tactics is most important. But this should just be another free piece. Yeah, so your opponents will always give you free material. If you just follow this structure and just practice your puzzles and your tactics, chess is really not that difficult. They will just give you free material all the time. And this is actually true for a very long time. I would even say it's true all the way up to almost 2000 rating. Maybe even still true at 2000 rating. We're going to see it in this series, of course, if it's true. Yeah, I think this makes sense. And now this is also protected. Yeah, I was thinking about this move. We attack, we protect, and he has to move the queen. Yeah, he can check me multiple times, but we can just slide over the king. Or we can just block with the knight. So he castles. Interesting. I actually want to castle myself as well. And we are still up material, so... Alright, you don't know how happy I am that I can finally castle. I am extremely happy that I can finally castle. This position has been a nightmare for a very long time. At least for someone like me. This is not the type of chess I usually play. I think I already probably missed the 11 tactics. The engine is going to roast every move, but at least I'm winning. For example here, I think this was also a plan. But of course, engines are ruthless in positions like this. They will say, oh, that's a blunder, that's a mistake, that's an inaccuracy. Because they are just so fearless, they can calculate everything with high precision immediately. As a human, you see your king is unsafe, you see 5 pieces hanging. You don't feel so great about the position, even if you are up 4 points of material. So what are we actually up? I think we are up 2 minor pieces. And we are down 2 pawns, right? Or can I not count? 7 pawns, 5 pawns. Yeah, we are down 2 pawns. And we are up 2 minor pieces. But I don't know. Yeah, they say +4. We have a +4 advantage. I was going to say, how can I miscalculate this? What's the plan now? Pretty much the same as the previous game. Piece exchanges. All we want to do is exchange pieces. a lot of exchanges would make me extremely happy. How are we gonna do it? I don't know yet. I'm gonna see what we can do. This check looks tempting, but he can just block. I was thinking one move that looks very nice is just simply this. We connect the knights, we attack the queen, we attack this, and we attack, oops, we attack those squares. If it actually wasn't for him moving the king, I think I would have even had some tactics. For example, a check maybe, somewhere. There might also at one point be a good move here, which maybe I already missed it actually with the knight or the queen. For example, queen check, of course they can't block. So they have to step to an awkward square. This knight check might also be a good move, because stepping here is always terrible. If they step here, they get mated basically in 2 moves. And if they take, they are opening up their own king. We can give a check. If they go here, that should be mate in 2. Yeah, that's mate. And if they go here, I don't see a mate. You don't see a mate in that line. Okay, so the queen infiltrating, always the most scary, but I think everything is pretty well protected, except, yeah, actually everything is protected. I don't know how, but everything is protected. So I think we might even just attack the queen. And of course, I'm 100% sure that I missed the tactic already twice, probably here, but I would rather get the queen out, and I think the queen might even get trapped at some point. Yeah, I think everything is very solid. Just have to watch out for the clock. This is also not good because we would be pinning our own piece. So I'm actually gonna poke with the check. Let's just see what he plays. I don't know if there is a way to trap the queen. So I'm thinking about grabbing this maybe. Yeah, I think we can. And then if we can activate the rook, that's going to help for the checkmate. I do have to play a little bit more quickly. We are down to 3 minutes. These are very complex positions, not my style, not what I like. I like to have a very solid position, a very simple strategic position. We just win one piece, maybe just win a couple of pawns. We trade everything. And then I was actually thinking, maybe I missed actually this move. But okay. So he is attacking my rook, which is what I expected. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we can connect the rooks. And I don't know how, but these knights are actually holding together the entire position. This is what my dad used to call horsepower. If you have those two knights connected, they are stronger than a queen, he would say. Because they can actually not really... no pieces can actually do anything, and they are grabbing so many squares. Yeah, sure, there must be 100 tactics here, but I'm not really worried about those. No. Let's just grab some extra pieces. That's an exchange. I already have back rank coverage here. Yeah, so I expected this, but we have... and that's a free queen. Maybe he didn't see that, but queens can move backwards. I did calculate it. I wouldn't play a move like leaving my back rank undefended without calculation. That's not my style. Now we should have a very simple checkmate. I just need to find it. We are gonna keep the rook here. I think even just with the knights we should be able to checkmate. All right, but he resigns. I am gonna do a quick check with the game review because I feel like I missed a million tactics. And I didn't miss a single tactic. I don't think I missed a single tactic. So this was just a blunder. And then the best defense. Ah, so okay, we did miss something. I was about to say. So they do think that going for this line, which I did calculate, if you remember, is the best. Because, well, they can take here or they can take here, but it honestly doesn't matter. Let's say they take here. Yeah, of course, that's just a checkmate and one. I forgot to calculate that one. So they have to take here and now we win the rook. All right, if I had seen that checkmate and one, but I didn't see it all the way from here. You had to see this, 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 basically. That would be a good move. What else? Yeah, again, like I said, so we did miss a couple of things. Rook g3, the engine is screaming like, boy, you just play queen check and you just take here, you just drop your knight and you go grab the rook. And then probably here when I play knight d4, again the engine is screaming, play queen b5. And then when I play knight to g3, they are saying it's the best engine move, and then it's also an inaccuracy. Okay, that's it. If you want to see me beat stronger players, watch my next videos as well, because I will do a rating climb all the way to 2000 rating.